So in the last lecture, we started with the analysis of ideal solutions. उसमें कुछ examples देखा हमने. And in order to decide if a solution is as an ideal solution or a real solution, we need to see the interactions among AA, among BP, and the newly formed interaction AB. So जो भी interactions जो possible है, those are London dispersion forces which happen among non-polar molecules, dipole forces which happen among polar molecules. उसी में strongest form of dipole interaction is hydrogen bonding. Then we have dipole-induced dipole among polar and non-polar molecules, and ion dipole interactions. अगर initial interaction जो AA and BB interactions, if they are almost same to the newly formed AB interaction, then the solution will be an ideal solution. And in that case, it will be obeying Raoult's law, which is P total equals to PA naught XA plus PB naught XB. And in this case, delta H mixing मतलब the heat changes which are happening during the mixing process. A के बीच में BB के बीच में interaction break करने के लिए जितना energy लगता है, उतना ही energy will be released whenever an interaction is formed between AB. Hence, the net change of heat will be 0. So delta H mixing is 0. Delta V mixing is also 0. Delta V mixing का मतलब क्या है? Initial total volume. Suppose only liquid A का volume V1 है, only liquid B का volume V2 है. So initial total volume is V1 plus V2. After mixing, the total volume is again V1 plus V2 because there is no change in the interactive forces. So molecules पास में भी नहीं आ रहे, दूर भी नहीं जा रहे. Hence the volume will remain V1 plus V2. Hence delta V mixing is taken as 0. Okay. Delta S mixing जो है, irrespective of the solution, may it be ideal, may it be real, it will always be greater than 0 because solution making process is a spontaneous process. Individually, liquid A has volume V1 and liquid B has volume V2. Whenever I am mixing both of them, the total volume has become V1 plus V2. So as the space got increased for the molecules, the randomness will be increased. Hence, delta S mixing will be greater than 0. Examples में हमने N-hexane और N-heptane के बारे में देखा. इन दोनों में the only kind of interaction we have is non-polar interaction, which is London dispersion force. And it depends upon the surface area as well as molecular weight. इनके surface area और molecular weight के बीच में उतना फर्क नहीं है. So the change in that strength of the van der Waals force is very less. So we take that almost same. Similarly, इनमें भी non-polar interactions ही है. इसका surface area में भी ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं है. In this case, you have polar interactions. जिसमें भी polar है, इसमें भी polar है. Dipole. So इनको mix करने के बाद भी एक dipole interaction ही रहेगा, and इनका magnitudes भी almost same रहेगा because of very less difference in the electronegativity of chlorine and bromine. Okay. उसके बाद हमने positive deviation from Raoult's law. Positive deviation from Raoult's law के लिए आप ये ऐसे याद रखो, सब कुछ greater than 0 होगा. Delta H mixing greater than 0, delta V mixing greater than 0, delta S mixing तो हमेशा किसी के कुछ solution के लिए भी greater than 0 होगा ही है. Okay, delta H greater than mixing greater than 0 का मतलब क्या है? It is an endothermic process. मतलब initial interactions को break करने के लिए ज़्यादा energy लगेगा when compared to the energy released during the formation of new interaction. So initial interactions are stronger. So बाद में जो भी interactions बना है, those are weaker. Okay, so AB interaction is weaker than AA and BB interaction. And in this case, P total is greater than PA naught XA plus PB naught XB. जितना हम expect करते हैं, उससे ज़्यादा ही vapors बनेगा. The reason being the attractive forces among the molecules is lesser. Okay. Delta H mixing greater than 0. Delta V mixing is greater than 0 because the molecules, as the attractive forces are less, the molecules will be far from each other after mixing. Okay. Examples में initial इसमें non-polar interactions है, इसमें hydrogen bonding है. Whenever I'm mixing this with this, इनके बीच में ये आने की वजह से इसका हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग ब्रेक हो गया, सो अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स इनिशियली जो स्ट्रांग था वो कम हो गया। यहाँ पे भी वैसा ही हो रहा है। इस केस में हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग इनिशियली अल्कोहल में भी है, वाटर में भी है, बट वाटर को मिक्स करने की वजह से द नंबर ऑफ हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स पर वाटर मॉलिक्यूल विल बी डिक्रीज्ड। Initially, water molecule is able to form 4 hydrogen bonds, but alcohol can make only 2 hydrogen bonds. So after mixing, water is able to form only 2 hydrogen bonds. Moreover, this particular part, the alkyl part, is hydrophobic part, being non-polar. So water के साथ वो repel ही होगा। Okay? यहाँ तक clear है सबको? Everyone in the lecture? यहाँ तक ओके, यहाँ तक क्लियर है ना? इसका ग्राफ थोड़ा ड्रॉ कर लेते हैं, जैसे हम आइडियल सॉल्यूशन के लिए ग्राफ ड्रॉ किया था ना 2 वाई एक्सिस के साथ, इसमें भी एक ग्राफ ड्रॉ करते हैं। टेढ़ा है ना ये? Okay. Again, I'm assuming A to be more volatile than B. A is more volatile than B. So from this I can mark PA naught जो है, it will be greater when compared to PB naught. Okay. यहाँ पे XA equals to 0, XB equals to 1. इस पॉइंट पे XA equals to 1, XB equals to 0. If it is an ideal solution, ग्राफ कैसा आना चाहिए हमको?
Straight line.
Straight line. Okay. इसे थोड़ा डॉटेड लाइन मार्क कर रहा हूँ। ओके, एंड इसका ये भी स्ट्रेट लाइन। आइडियल सॉल्यूशन के लिए PB will be equals to PB naught XB and PA will be equals to PA naught XA. But it is not an ideal solution, right? PA क्या है? PA is greater than PA naught XA and PB is greater than PB naught XB. But if you have only XA, the pressure has to be PA naught, and if you have only XB, मतलब XB equals to 1, अगर XA is equals to 1 है तो the pressure has to be PA naught, अगर XB equals to 1 है तो the pressure has to be PB naught. Okay, और XA is equals to 0 है तो the contribution because of A will be equals to 0. So graph यहाँ से start होगा, but it will be above that ideal curve. Okay, similarly ये वाला भी ऐसा होगा. So the combination of these two, expect क्या करेंगे? आइडियल केस में ग्राफ ऐसा होना चाहिए था, बट एक्चुअल में क्या आएगा? इट विल बी प्रेजेंट ऐसा कुछ. Okay, this is the graph for P total, this is the graph for PA, this is the graph for PB. Is this clear? Okay, next, negative deviation from Rolle's law. So negative deviation from Rolle's law मतलब इसमें सब कुछ लेस देन 0 होगा अपार्ट फ्रॉम डेल्टा एस मिक्सिंग. Okay, so what can you comment on interactions? Negative deviation.
AB greater than A and B.
Good. AB interactions are stronger than AA and BB interactions. Good. So because of that, जितना हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं वेपर्स बनना चाहिए उतना नहीं बनेगा. As a result, the contribution because of A will be less than PA naught XA, and the contribution because of B will be less than PB naught XB. P total क्या होगा? It will, even now it will be equal to PA plus PB according to Dalton's theory of partial pressures, but it will be less than PA naught XA plus PB naught XB. Okay, so what can you comment on delta H mixing? ये इंटरेक्शन जो है those are weaker. So नया इंटरेक्शन जो भी बन रहा है उस टाइम पे एनर्जी जो रिलीज होगा that will be more when compared to the energy that is required to break A and BB interactions. So delta H mixing will be less than 0 exothermic. डेल्टा V मिक्सिंग क्या होगा? स्ट्रॉन्गर इंटरेक्शंस की वजह से मॉलिक्यूल्स पास में आ जाएंगे. So V1 plus V2 after mixing will be lesser when compared to the initial total volume. Can I say that? So what will be delta S mixing?
Greater than.
Yeah, always greater than 0. वो समझ में आया ना? Okay. इसका भी ग्राफ प्लॉट कर लेते पहले. Okay, again A is more volatile, so यहाँ पे PB naught, यहाँ पे PA naught, ये पॉइंट पे XA equals to 0, XB equals to 1, XA equals to 1, XB equals to 0. Had it been an ideal solution, ऐसा कुछ, या ऐसा कुछ P total ऐसा कुछ आना चाहिए था, बट अभी क्या आएगा? नीचे से आएगा ग्राफ. ये वाला पार्ट ऐसा कुछ, ये ऐसा कुछ. This will be P total. This is P total. This is PA, and this is PB. Any doubt? So एग्जाम में आपको अगर इनकेस ग्राफ दिया तो ये रेड में जो भी मार्क किया वो पार्ट्स तो नहीं दिखेगा, डायरेक्टली आपको कर्व्स जो है वो दिखेगा. करस्पॉन्डिंगली यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई. Is this clear, everyone?
हाँ.
Let us mark some examples. Again, examples are very important. HCl, whenever it is added to H2O, it acts as negatively deviated solution. ऐसा क्यों होगा? If you are having pure HCl, it will be as a covalent molecule. H और Cl के बीच में bond रहेगा ही है. But if you are dissolving that HCl in water, what will happen? It breaks into H positive and Cl minus. Once they break into H positive and Cl minus, ये जो positively charged ions and negatively charged ions है, they will be attracting the dipoles. So what is happening? You are forming an ion dipole interaction. Ion dipole interaction is also a strongest form of interaction, क्योंकि वो complete charge है and ये dipoles है. Similarly, ये जो negatively charged species है, it will be attracting the positive ends of the dipole. So initially क्या है? Water molecules के बीच में you are having hydrogen bonding, but बाद में क्या हो रहा है? Whenever I'm dissolving HCl, the water molecules are hydrating this H positive. अभी HCl तो बाहर नहीं जा पा रहा है. ये जो water molecules को भी ये जो oppositely charged ions जो है, they are attracting those water molecules. उनको भी जाने नहीं दे रहे. So the ability or the tendency to go into vapor state, it is getting decreased. समझ में आया? And this can be multi-layer too. मैंने यहाँ पे single layer ही दिखाया. These water molecules are attracted towards these ions. As a result, these water molecules are unable to escape into surroundings. So escaping tendency got decreased due to solvation. समझ में आया? Okay. आप लोग कोई भी acid with water, or you can take any base with water also. You can take any acid with water, or you can take any strong base with water. They will always act as negatively deviated solutions. Clear? और दो examples है, standard examples and very important examples. Chloroform with acetone and aniline with phenol. Last जो भी mark किया है, very important examples. अभी chloroform में you can have dipole-dipole interactions, and in case of acetone also you can have dipole-dipole interactions. But whenever you are mixing these two, in chloroform, the carbon is attached to 3 chlorine atoms, which are sufficiently electronegative. So in chlorines के ऊपर partial negative आएगा, okay, and this carbon के ऊपर partial positive आएगा. Because of the high partial positive charge on the carbon, now this particular carbon has become electron deficient. So वो क्या कोशिश करेगा? It will pull electrons from the hydrogen atom. If it is pulling electrons on the hydrogen atom, what is happening to the charge on hydrogen? You are getting a partial positive charge, or you are generating a partial positive charge. Okay. So this hydrogen, when it comes in contact with oxygen of acetone, it forms hydrogen bond like interaction. यहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग जैसा कुछ बनेगा, क्योंकि उसके ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा पार्शियल पॉजिटिव चार्ज है, इसके ऊपर बहुत पार्शियल नेगेटिव है ऑक्सीजन के ऊपर, एज वेल एज यू आर हैविंग लोन पेयर टू. लोन पेयर के साथ इंटरेक्ट करेगा वो. सो यू आर हैविंग a H bond like interaction. Initially उनमें CHCl3 CHCl3 वो अपने आप में it is having a dipole interaction. acetone ये अपने आप में it is also having a dipole interaction. इन दोनों को मिलाने की वजह से एक हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग जैसा कुछ बना, which is the strongest form of a dipole interaction. Hence this is acting as negatively deviated solution. वो जो है बाहर जा नहीं पा रहे because of the stronger attractive forces formed. Is this clear? Okay. Next example क्या था? Aniline with phenol. आप लोग मुझे ये बताओ, is there any hydrogen bonding in phenol? मतलब phenol के बीच में ही is there any hydrogen bonding? दो phenol molecules के बीच में हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग हो सकता है कि नहीं?
हाँ.
हो सकता है ना, because you are having a hydrogen attached to oxygen. This hydrogen, when it comes in contact with oxygen of another phenol, it will definitely form a hydrogen bond. So in phenol you are having H bonding. In aniline, is there any H bonding? Even in this case, hydrogen is attached to highly electronegative element nitrogen. So if that hydrogen comes in contact with nitrogen of another aniline molecule, there will be formation of hydrogen bond. Is that clear? So aniline में भी hydrogen bonding है, दोनों में hydrogen bonding है. Okay. But होता क्या है? In case of OH, the partial positive charge on hydrogen is very high. Okay. In case of this N bond H, ये जो N bond H में यहाँ पे जो partial positive charge है, this is relatively less when compared to the partial positive charge on this hydrogen, because nitrogen is relatively less electronegative when compared to oxygen. Okay. Phenol के केस में क्या होगा? This positive charge is interacting with the lone pair of oxygen. Aniline के साथ क्या हो रहा है? The positive charge on this hydrogen is interacting with the lone pair on nitrogen. Out of oxygen and nitrogen, which will readily give its lone pair in interaction? Nitrogen, because nitrogen being less electronegative. So दोनों केसेस में क्या है? एक कंडीशन फेवरेबल है, दूसरा कंडीशन थोड़ा अनफेवरेबल है. मतलब यहाँ पे पॉजिटिव चार्ज ज्यादा है, बट ऑक्सीजन अपना लोन पेयर दे नहीं रहे. यहाँ पे पॉजिटिव चार्ज कम है, बट नाइट्रोजन अपना लोन पेयर देने के लिए तैयार है इंटरेक्शन में. So whenever you are mixing these two, the highly positive charge, the high partial positive charge on hydrogen will be interacting with lone pair of the nitrogen. So उसके वजह से जो भी हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड बनेगा, इन दोनों के बीच में जो हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड बनेगा, that will be the strongest form. Okay. इसके वजह से there will be a negative deviation. समझ में आया? In this case, delta positive on hydrogen is very high, but oxygen doesn't readily give its lone pair in H bonding. इस केस में क्या हो रहा है? Partial positive charge on hydrogen is relatively low, but nitrogen readily gives its lone pair in H bonding. Okay. So on mixing both, hydrogen of phenol has good extent of H bonding with nitrogen's lone pair in aniline. Is this clear? The reason is also important. Example is also important. Okay. I hope this is clear. और एक केस देखते हैं. This is an interesting case where we will be mixing a liquid with a non-volatile solute. Case of non-volatile solute. What is meant by non-volatile solute? Anyone?
वेपर में जाने का टेंडेंसी कम है.
कम इनफैक्ट जीरो है. That doesn't convert into vapors. मतलब if you take NaCl को ऐसा ही फ्लोर पे ऐसा फेंक दो, it will not convert into vapor no matter what the time. Infinite time होने के बाद भी वो ऐसा ही रहेगा. अगर पानी को फेंक दिया तो it will convert into vapor because it is having some volatile property. Okay. So non-volatile solute मतलब क्या हुआ? Doesn't form अब आप लोग सोच के बताओ. Whenever I am adding a non-volatile solute to a liquid which is volatile, okay, what will happen to its vapor pressure?
वो लिक्विड की वजह से होगा.
और लिक्विड की वजह से तो होगा ही है, ठीक है. आई एम आस्किंग what will happen to the vapor pressure of that particular solution. मतलब प्योर लिक्विड का ऐसा मान लेते हैं. एक ग्लास में प्योर लिक्विड है, दूसरे ग्लास में प्योर लिक्विड along with some non-volatile solute. दोनों का वेपर प्रेशर जो बनेगा इक्विलिब्रियम पे, will they be same or will they be different?
सेम
सेम नहीं होगा, डिफरेंट होगा डेफिनेटली, एंड इट विल बी लेसर देन द प्योर लिक्विड. अभी नॉन वोलेटाइल सोल्यूट डालने की वजह से होता क्या है, द मॉलिक्यूल्स और द पार्टिकल्स ऑफ द नॉन वोलेटाइल सोल्यूट will be present, some of the particles will be present at the surface. अभी हो क्या रहा है, those particles are not evaporating into the surroundings and they are not allowing the other particles to go into the surroundings. Okay. As a result, the vapor pressure of the solution will be decreased. वो खुद बाहर नहीं जा रहे और दूसरे मॉलिक्यूल्स को बाहर जाने नहीं दे रहे, volatile molecules को. So more is the amount of non-volatile solute present. Okay, more is the amount of non-volatile solute present, lesser will be the vapor pressure. Vapor pressure उतना ही कम होता जाएगा. Is this clear?
हाँ.
हाँ.
Examples of non-volatile solute. कुछ बताओ आप लोग. Yeah, NaCl. Anything. K2SO4. any compounds को बोल सकते हो आप लोग. Ca. NO3 twice. You can also, yeah, you can also take glucose, sucrose, urea, etc. पहले जो 3 नॉन वोलेटाइल सोल्यूट्स है और लास्ट में जो 3 ग्लूकोज, सुक्रोज, यूरिया, इन दोनों में भी कुछ डिफरेंस है क्या? बोथ ऑफ देम आर नॉन वोलेटाइल, बट इज देयर एनी डिफरेंस अमंग दीस टू? मतलब ये 3 में और ये 3 में कुछ डिफरेंस?
सर वो आयंस बनाएंगे.
आयंस बनाएंगे. गुड. सो दीज आर इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स. Whenever they are dissolved in a liquid, they can split into ions. But ये जो glucose, sucrose, urea है, these are non-electrolytes. So electrolyte, non-electrolyte से भी कुछ फर्क आ सकता है, which we will be seeing at the end of the chapter. Okay. So if you are having a non-electrolyte solute, sorry, non-volatile solute, तो उसका escaping tendency क्या होगा?
Zero.
Equal to 0. Okay. So let us take A as solvent, जिसके लिए प्योर लिक्विड है तो PA0 होगा. B as solute, and we will be taking that PB0 equals to 0. Okay. So from the Raoult's law, P total क्या होता है? PA0 XA plus PB0 XB. PB0 जो है वो 0 होने की वजह से can I take this as 0? So what will be P total equal to? It is PA0 XA. Since XA is less than 1, mole fraction will always be less than or equal to 1 ना? I can say P total जो है it will be less than PA0. Okay. So what is happening to the vapor pressure? मतलब mathematically देखा तो the vapor pressure is decreasing. Okay. So this is called as lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure. कितना lower हुआ? In actual में कितना होना चाहिए था? PA0. अभी कितना है? P total. So the lowering of vapor pressure is nothing but PA0 minus P total. Is that clear?
Sir
You
वो
can- yeah.
XA less than 1 वो समझ में नहीं आया.
मोल फ्रैक्शन जो है it will always be less than 1 value. अगर B कुछ है ही नहीं है तो then the mole fraction will be equals to 1. But in general mole fraction is less than 1. You are multiplying something with a number less than 1. So that value will be less than the actual value ना, मतलब एक नंबर को उसके लेस देन 1 से मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे तो उससे कम ही आएगा ना. वही बता रहा हूँ. सो ऑलरेडी हमने जो डिस्कस किया वेपर प्रेशर of the solution will be decreased करके, it won't be the same as the initial value. वही mathematically देख रहे हैं. Okay. So कितना lower हुआ है, that I am writing that as PA naught minus P total. We also know XA is equals to 1 minus XB. वो substitute करते हो P total के formula में. P total equals to PA naught into 1 minus XB, which is equals to PA naught minus PA naught XB. So what can I write? PA naught XB equal to PA naught minus P total, which is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure. What is PA naught minus P total upon PA naught equal to
XB.
B.
XB, which is nothing but mole fraction of solute. अगर मुझे PA naught minus P total upon PA naught को कुछ बोलना है, okay, if I want to give it a term, what can I say? PA naught minus P total is called as lowering of vapor pressure. I am dividing it by PA naught. So what can I call it? Anyone? I am comparing that to the initial value, na? So I can call this as relative lowering of vapor pressure. Is this clear? Relative lowering of vapor pressure, which is written as RLVP, relative lowering of vapor pressure, equals to mole fraction of solute. Is this clear? Further इसको simplify करते हैं. What is mole fraction of solute? Suppose Na and Nb are moles of solute and solvent. What will be mole fraction of solute? It is Nb upon Na plus Nb. उसका उल्टा लिखते हैं, Na plus Nb upon Nb equals to PA naught upon PA naught minus P total. Any doubt? Which I can write this as Na upon Nb plus 1 equals to PA naught upon PA naught minus P total. Any doubt? Any doubt?
No, sir.
इसको इक्वेशन ये मानते हैं, थोड़ा 1 को उस साइड लेके जाके सबट्रैक्ट कर लेते हैं. Na upon Nb equal to PA naught minus PA naught plus P total, LCM भी ले रहा हूँ, by PA naught minus P total. Cancel हुआ. So finally I can write Nb upon Na, moles of solute upon moles of solvent, equals to PA naught minus P total upon P total. Can I write this equation? Any doubt? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. एक बार फिर से इक्वेशन एक और ले रहा हूं. इक्वेशन ए, which is PA naught minus P total upon PA naught equals to
XB.
Nb upon Na plus Nb for very dilute solutions. बहुत डाइल्यूट है, मतलब वो जो सोल्यूट है बहुत कम है. For very dilute solution, can I take NB much less than Na? ले सकता हूं? Any doubt? I'm saying for very dilute solutions. Very dilute solution मतलब solute का amount बहुत कम डाला, so उसका moles जो है solvent के comparison में बहुत कम होगा ना. NB is much less when compared to Na. Okay, so Na plus NB क्या होगा?
नहीं होगा.
Na ही होगा. So in that case, I can write PA naught minus P total upon PA naught, which is nothing but relative lowering of vapor pressure, equals to NB upon Na भी लिख सकता हूँ. एक बार ये दो इक्वेशंस को ऑब्जर्व करो. ये भी NB upon Na ही है, ये भी NB upon Na है. ये PA naught minus P total upon P total है, ये PA naught minus P total upon PA naught है. ये जो आया है सेकंड, दिस इज एन अप्रोक्सीमेट रिलेशन. इसमें थोड़ा अप्रोक्सीमेट किया ना. ये कब यूज कर सकते हैं हम? If in the question they are mentioning it as very dilute solution, this is the exact relation. You can always calculate your answer using this relation, क्योंकि कभी गलत नहीं आएगा. Calculation process जल्दी करना है तो you can use this PA naught minus P total upon PA naught equals to NB upon Na. Okay? Dilute solution के केस में ये भी बोल सकता हूँ ना मैं, PA naught is almost equal to P total only. Very dilute implies P total almost equal to PA naught. So वही put किया, P total के प्लेस में PA naught आ गया तो वही आएगा ना approximate relation. Is this clear?
हाँ सर.
Any doubt? ये जो particular relative lowering of vapor pressure जो है, it is usually used for finding the molecular weight of the unknown substance. क्या करते हैं हम, वो unknown substance को वो पानी के अंदर डाल दो, see for the difference in the vapor pressure at that given temperature. Okay, so moles में weight upon molecular weight put कर सकते हैं ना. जितना weight put कर रहे हो हमको पता ही है. Solvent का moles भी पता होगा हमें और उसका molecular weight भी पता है हमें. So from this particular relative lowering of vapor pressure, you can calculate the vapor pressure using manometer. Okay, so ये वाला data हमको available रहेगा, so we can find the molecular weight of the unknown substance. One of the application of for this particular relative lowering of vapor pressure is to find the molecular weight of unknown substance. Is this clear? Okay, I'll give you a question. Please attempt this. At 300 Kelvin, vapor pressure of pure H2O is 12.3 kilopascals. Calculate vapor pressure of 1 molar solution of a non-volatile solute in it. If it is 1 molar solution of a non-volatile solute, what will be the effect on its vapor pressure? कितना होगा P total? Calculate. Whenever you are given molality, assume 1 kg of solvent.
Sir, 682.65 kilopascal.
6 बता, फिर से बता परमेश, आंसर क्या है?
682.65 kilopascal.
682 कैसे आ सकता है? 12.3 kilopascal से whenever you are adding a non-volatile solute, the vapor pressure will be decreased. So the answer has to be less than 12.3. तुम 682 इतना बढ़ा दिया.
हाँ सर, वो मोल फ्रैक्शन गलत लिखा है, सॉरी.
Assume 1 kg of solvent. 1 kg of solvent मतलब क्या हो गया यहाँ पे? Molality is nothing but moles of solute upon mass of solvent in kg. So moles of solute, molality क्या दिया है हमको? 1 दिया है. Mass of solvent कितना लिया है? 1 kg लिया है. So what will be the moles of solute then? Equals to 1. हमको mole fraction ही चाहिए ना? So what will be the moles of solvent? Equals to 1000 grams divided by 18, which is equals to 55.55 mole. Okay, so what will be the P total जो है यहाँ पे? It will be P naught of H2O into mole fraction of H2O. P naught of B जो है वो 0 हो गया. So P naught of H2O कितना है? 12.3 kilopascals into mole fraction of H2O कितना होगा? 55.55. खुद का moles divided by total moles are 56.55. This is the answer. आया समझ में?
हाँ
बाकी लोग
हाँ
12.054 kilopascals answer. सबसे पहला answer has to be less than 12.3. Okay. Next question. Everyone, next question. Clear है ये वाला part? At 293 Kelvin, vapor pressure of pure H2O is 17.535 mm of Hg. Find vapor pressure of H2O at 293 Kelvin if 25 gram of glucose is dissolved in 450 gram of water. ये भी डायरेक्ट है. Answer anyone?
माइन्यूट डिफरेंस आ रहा है, थोड़ा सा ही कम आएगा।
थोड़ा सा ही कमाएगा। फिर से P total will be equal to P naught of H2O into mole fraction of H2O. So moles of glucose is equal to उसका mass divided by 180, moles of water equals to 450 divided by 18. So P total will be equals to 17.535
सर 17.43 आता है।
into mole fraction of H2O na. So it is 450 upon 18 divided by किसी ने कैलकुलेट किया क्या एग्जैक्ट?
सर 17.43।
17.36 है, देखो एक बार चेक कर लो। 17.36 mm of Hg. I think 450 upon 18 is 25.
हाँ
So you can write this part as 25 upon 25 into 1 by 80 plus 1. 25 cancel होगा, which is 180 upon 181, which is almost equals to 0.99 something आएगा। ठीक है, okay, next concept. We need to understand the difference between boiling and evaporation. Already आप लोग को थोड़ा पता है। सबसे पहले मुझे ये बताओ, what do you observe? Suppose मैंने एक vessel of water जो है वो स्टोव पे रख के I am heating it. When will you say that the water is boiling? When will you say that the water is boiling? देख के मतलब what is the visual change which you can see?
पानी के वो बड़े-बड़े ऊपर आते हैं मॉलिक्यूल।
मॉलिक्यूल्स दिख जाता है क्या तुझे?
सर मतलब पानी का वो ऐसे आता है ना, बबल्स आते हैं ना।
बबल्स, हाँ बबल्स, इतना यही पूछ रहा हूँ मैं। पानी गरम कर रहे हैं तुम, सडनली बबल्स आना स्टार्ट होगा। एट द व्हेन द बबल्स स्टार्ट इन द प्रोसेस वी से दैट द वाटर इज बॉइलिंग। ओके, सो बबल का मतलब क्या है? व्हाट इज दैट बबल? देखो, ये जो बबल बनेगा, in the bubble you will be having vapor, okay, and the pressure inside the bubble is nothing but the vapor pressure. क्योंकि वो जो बबल है, the bubble is nothing but वो water molecules का ही बना है। and inside the bubble it will be in the vapor state. So inside the bubble the pressure is nothing but the vapor pressure. Okay, so in bubbles के ऊपर जो भी pressure लग रहे हैं that is nothing but atmospheric pressure. If the bubble has to raise to the surface, the vapor pressure, the boundary condition has to be, और जो vapor pressure है कम से कम atmospheric pressure जितना होना चाहिए ना. Okay, if it is equal to atmospheric pressure then only the bubble can rise to the surface पे आके it will burst, and वो जो evaporation का process है it will be happening at a faster rate. मतलब the water molecules which are present in the bulk are also able to escape into the surroundings. So ये जो boiling है this is a bulk phenomenon. Okay, boiling is a bulk phenomenon, but ये जो evaporation है it is a surface phenomenon. Only at the surface it will be happening. So boiling होने के लिए condition क्या है? The bubble which is getting formed inside the liquid which is having that vapor has to rise to the surface. If it has to rise to the surface, the pressure inside the bubble must be equal to the atmospheric pressure. Then only it can rise to the surface. समझ में आया? So what is the condition for boiling? The condition for boiling is the vapor pressure of the liquid must be equal to the atmospheric pressure. Is this clear? समझ में आया?
हाँ सर.
बॉइलिंग और एवापोरेशन में थोड़ा डिफरेंसेस नोट करते हैं. ये जो बॉइलिंग है सबसे मेन इट इज अ बल्क फिनोमिनन. Evaporation it is surface phenomenon, and boiling जो है it will occur at a constant temperature. Can happen at any temperature.
आवाज नहीं आ रही.
दो मिनट डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ. So what is the condition for boiling to happen? The vapor pressure of the solution must be equal to the external pressure. So if you want to boil a given liquid, what you can do is you can increase the temperature, because of which we will be increasing the vapor pressure of the liquid. When the vapor pressure becomes equal to the external pressure, then the boiling will start. ये एक हो सकता है. दूसरा, you can decrease the external pressure. You can decrease the external pressure such that the external pressure equals to the pressure of the solution. Then also boiling can happen. You can do either of these two things in order to boil a given liquid. So आप लोग इसमें कुछ theoretical questions आता है, CET में भी आता है. आप लोग ये सुना होगा, the process of cooking is very difficult on hilly terrains or on the hill. Mountains के ऊपर वो जो cooking का process है, it is very difficult. Can anyone tell me the reason?
सर वो माउंटेन पे प्रेशर ज्यादा होता है ना, इसलिए.
माउंटेन पे प्रेशर ज्यादा होता है.
नहीं, माउंटेन पे प्रेशर.
We are going upwards, मतलब थोड़ा amount of
प्रेशर कम
atmosphere
होगा.
थोड़ा नीचे ही है ना. So mountains regions के ऊपर the pressure is less. If the pressure is less, the boiling point of water will also be less. Okay, अगर boiling point of water if it is less, और जो water है जल्दी जल्दी it will be converting into vapor. So जब भी हम कुकिंग करने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं और वाटर जो है वो बॉईल होता जाता है and it will be escaping from the system. So there is high chance for the food material to get fried. मतलब बर्न होने का चांस है, जल जाएगा. ठीक है. So in order to not have that, you need to constantly put water into it. But water फिर से put कर रहे तो फिर से उसको heat तो करना पड़ेगा ना. First of all, why do we use water? वाटर के साथ कुक क्यों करते हैं? बिकॉज वो वाटर हीट होके you won't be heating vegetables directly, right? If you heat vegetables directly, what will happen? वो जल जाएंगे, है कि नहीं? Okay, so water system के अंदर रहा तो then the water will be providing heat to those particular raw materials and they will be cooked. अगर सिस्टम के अंदर से पानी बाहर चला गया, जल जाएगा. ओके, सो प्रेशर कुकर्स क्या करता है? प्रेशर कुकर मतलब inside the cooker the pressure will be greater than the atmospheric pressure, obviously, because you are applying external pressure, extra pressure add कर रहे हैं ना. So the boiling point of the water will be increased there. So inside the pressure cooker you can cook food easily and immediately. जल्दी भी हो जाएगा. Okay, because the water won't be evaporated easily or won't be boiled easily. Is this clear?
हाँ.
Okay, I hope this is clear. ठीक है. We will understand much about these concepts in next lecture. We have to understand a concept called azeotrope. ये boiling के ऊपर और कुछ समझना है हमको. Boiling happens at a constant temperature for a pure liquid, but whenever you are having a solution, boiling happens over range of temperatures. Pure liquid boils at a constant temperature, but a solution boils at range of temperature. उसी में हमको एजियोट्रोप्स करके थियरेटिकल है ये नेक्स्ट जो भी पार्ट हम पढ़ने वाले हैं इट इज थियरिटिकल, क्वेश्चन ज्यादा थियरी के ऊपर ही बेस्ड होगा. So we need to understand a term called azeotrope. So if possible, read that particular part in the NCERT textbook. We will discuss in the next lecture, tomorrow's lecture. Okay. Azeotropes. Go through the part section of azeotropes. Thank you.